Hi, my name is Jeff Pagano, and welcome to Harpin on Rugby, where with the help of some fellow fans, I get the chance to harp on what's going on with Leinster, Ireland, Alliance, and the wider rugby world. Joining me this week is someone earning his 12th Harpin cap. Welcome back to Mr. David Cordial.
Thanks, Jeff. Good to be here.
Great to have you back. Okay, listen, we're going to start in Tbilisi, where Paul O'Connell's Ireland squad scored a 34-5 victory over Georgia, thanks to two early tries from Tommy O'Brien, and in the second half, one each from skipper Craig Casey and also Nick Timoney, plus 14 points from the boot of Sam Prendergast. Comfortable enough victory, certainly more so than we were expecting, David.
Yeah, no, I thought it was. I thought it was going to be a much rougher outing than it ended up being. I think for a team where I'm not sure of the exact number of debutants handed out on the night, but like in the conditions over there in Tbilisi, it was pretty grim, pretty grimy. I don't think we can be too critical, and I think aside from the single injury to Jacob Stockdale, I don't think we can have counted ourselves much luckier to get out of it with what we came out with. It was a very fast open. It's always good to start as you mean to continue. I thought Jamie Osborne 13 wouldn't be normally the position I'd play him in, but I thought he had it was initial, I think it was a bomb put up by Sam Prendergast. He has a good chase through to win it back in the air just outside the 22. And then he runs a lovely line before the try to get in deep into the Georgian 22. And then it's just, I think Ireland has get a penalty advantage, and Prendergast sees a bit of space in the back, thinks it over the top, I think off his left foot as well. And Tommy O'Brien first 90 seconds, 100 seconds of international rugby, and he's sprinting through to dot down for a try. And I don't think he could have had a better start to Test rugby. Certainly vindicates the attitudes of all the Leinster fans who've been raving about him for years. So um, uh, follow that up within the first 10, 15 minutes. There was a nice kick through from Tommy again himself, just I think it was a scrag through himself, and he chased after it. I noted Sam Prendergast actually chasing after him and almost beating him to the punch, which is impressive to see that kind of pace out of an out half. The ball bounced off the post, which I thought was cool enough to warrant mentioning. And the Jordan defender had to grab it and ground it over the line, and then um, there was an Irish scrum where I think there was I think from a relatively inexperienced front row, it was a decent performance at that. They were able to keep that scrum locked up, and then just Casey to Prendergast getting it wide to Tommy O'Brien again out on the wing to dot it over in the corner, and then a very nice conversion by Prendergast. So as first 10 minutes went, that they couldn't really have had it much better. The match did get a bit scrappier from there. I thought Prendergast ran well for someone who I think at the under 20s level he demonstrated a bit more running rugby threat than he had at senior level for a while, but he almost got over in the corner for a try of his own. I think his foot was just slightly in touch. As I said before, it was unfortunate to see Stockdale go off early. I think it was the 34th minute he went off. Since reports have said I think he might have damaged his AC joint, which is worrying, but hopefully he has time before the start of the next season um, to get himself right. Um, what was like I said, it was a strong start. Kind of turned a bit scrappy after that, and Georgia had a nice strong finish to the half. It would have been easy to kind of see Ireland get out of sight with a 14-point lead, but um, it was a mistake. It was a penalty inside Georgia's 22, and I remember the commentators assuming they were going to tap it and go, but they didn't. They kicked out for a line out, and then a series of I think there ended up being three consecutive lineouts and then penalty mistakes, and they just worked their way up until they got a line out inside Ireland's 22, and then they mauled it over. Which again, Georgian mauls, what can you do? But it was a disappointing way for Ireland to finish the half, but a good way for Georgia to do it and to keep it an honest contest. But then Ireland in the second half, I thought once again strong opening. Much in the first half, there was a breakout try, really nice run from Calvin Nash up the left wing. He'd come on for Stockdale there. He sent it into Ryan Baird, who I thought had a lovely game. He's kind of been making the six shirt at Leinster his own for a while. It was nice to see him now get a chance to do that with Ireland as well. He had a bit of a run himself. I think he had a Georgia guy hanging out of his waist, and he had managed to get a hand free to Casey, who was running a great support line on the inside and was able to run over for a third try. Once again, very nice start to the half after the kind of disappointing end to the first half. And from there, like because it was such a messy night, despite having scored three tries and having a 21-5 lead, Ireland weren't messing around. They got opportunities to take 3 points on 45 minutes, and they took them to make it 24. Um, build the lead, keep the momentum going. And, it gives a nod to Georgia. We're taking you seriously. We're taking the conditions seriously here as well. Georgia, to their credit, then didn't go away. They maintained pressure. Ireland were kind of um, there was an instance of Georgian pressure in the Ireland half. Ireland got kind of lucky in that it seemed like Georgia were going to maul over again, but they lost possession, and then Ireland were able to win a scrum penalty to escape. Um, and they were able to Georgia got down for it was one more try, but it was relatively early in the half, and from there, yeah, it was like there was another. I think we took another shot at goal to take another 3 points, to build out that lead, before finishing off with the Timony try on the left wing. It wasn't a nice kick from Sam across, crossfield kick. It went to ground, but it got where it needed to go. And then Timony just showed like this guy's been playing excellent for Ulster for a long time, and then it's just his misfortune that he plays in the same position as Josh van der Fleer. But he showed incredible strength to get by two Georgian defenders and dot it over in the corner. And again, Sam was able to convert it over there. I think it was 14 points from the tee. He finished the night, which is very impressive. I thought Casey as captain led incredibly well, both in terms of his own play, but just in terms of the kind of the energy he brings to the game. One of his last contributions on the pitch was a Georgian line out, and Georgia went to the line out, but then came around the blind side again, and Casey tackled a forward who was about twice his side into touch to get the possession back for Ireland. So that was the kind of thing he was bringing, and so leading by example and leading by he's anybody who supports Munster, anybody who supports Ireland knows that this guy can bring that. I thought it was so yeah. No, I thought overall it was a great game. I'm coming on time. I thought Jamie Osborne very tidy performance at 13. I thought yeah, if I had one criticism, I think we could have made some subs a bit earlier. Crowley and Murphy didn't come on until I think there was less than 10 minutes to go. Even Jack Ainger didn't come on for Thomas Clarkson until about 68 minutes. The game is well won at that stage. I don't think it would have hurt them to bring them on 5 or 10 minutes earlier. But I thought overall it was a very sensible performance under what could have been very difficult, what were very difficult positions. And yeah, no, but I think overall it's a performance we can be fairly happy with, and I really look forward to seeing what kind of team and what kind of performance we put out against Portugal.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was a very, very, very satisfying result all around, especially the way the Lions in the under 20s had already gone earlier. It was a good way to finish off that set, as it were. I mean, this is a very fascinating tour all around for the Ireland, because we complain. Well, I've complained about the line, not the Lions not that into it and all that kind of stuff. One big positive is that it allows us to pick these teams for these full test matches without those players, and give these guys a chance to play. And there was loads of players that definitely were worth looking at, and a lot of them put their hands up. I think after 10 minutes, I think the game went the way we all thought it was going to, especially when we saw it was raining beforehand. But you can't ignore those two early tries. We straight out of the traps, despite the rainy conditions and the fact that this was a kind of a patchwork team that was put together for this mini tour. They clicked really well. Was a penalty advantage. He didn't hesitate, like you say, kicked it with his left foot over the top. There's Tommy with that line. We saw him do that more than once the second half of the season for Leinster, especially, and he's still doing it. He's obviously given a call. He's running through and is on the other end to catch it and score. And then for the second try, it was just really well constructed. The space was out wide, and then Tommy did the finish. So that was and then like you said, Sam getting the kicks from the touchline as well. I mean, so 14-0 lead. From there, we kind of struggled. Georgia grew into the game. They deserved that try towards the end. Maybe we were lucky not to see a yellow card. I thought we might have seen a yellow for that penalty just before the break anyway, but we got a warning. And then after halftime, we got one. We gave away a penalty and got in the same position down the other end. But I don't know if the ref forgot or figured enough time had elapsed or whatever. But we might have been lucky in that regard. But still, I think we kept them out. We kept the Georgians out pretty well. We were struggling at times in the scrums. We did win a couple of scrum penalties, but they were starting to get an edge at times. So, but in other areas, now Ryan Baird, like you say, in the loose, he was dominating lineouts. He stole lineouts. He was the regular target for our own lineouts. And for that try, for the Casey try, it wasn't just an out the back pass. He had some distance to get on it as well, to get it to Casey. Great support line. Good run by Calvin Nash as well, who came on for Stockdale. It was a great break from Nash. I think he did a good cameo. Great person to bring on in that situation.